Welcome to Elderly Health Tips, the channel where your health and your independence always comes first. Now, let me start with a number that may shock you. Over 40% of adults over 60 are walking around every day with hidden vitamin deficiencies that are slowly damaging their legs, and they don't even know it. Yes, you heard that right. Not joint disease, not aging, but vitamin deficiencies quietly chipping away at your muscle strength, your nerve function, your blood flow, and even your balance. And here's the kicker. Most of these nutrients, like vitamin D3, B1, B12, C, E, and K2, are incredibly easy to fix once you know what to look for. Yet they are almost always overlooked, even by doctors. I'll be honest. Some people might say, "Come on, how bad can a vitamin deficiency really be?" Well, try explaining that to the 75-year-old who fractured her hip because her bones were calcium-rich, but her arteries were stiff from years without vitamin K2, or the retired veteran who eats well but wakes up with stabbing leg cramps because no one ever told him he was low on magnesium and vitamin E. This video isn't just a checklist of nutrients, it's a wake-up call. So if you're tired of sore legs, numb feet, slow healing, or just want to walk confidently into your 70s, 80s, even 90s, you need to hear this. But before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. It helps us bring you more science-backed, senior-focused content every single week. What are you waiting for? Let's dive right in and explore the 6 essential vitamins that will keep your legs strong, even well into your 80s. Let's start with number 1. Vitamin D3. As a senior physician with over 40 years of experience in geriatric medicine, I can tell you this: vitamin D3 isn't just a supplement, it's a lifeline, especially for those of us over 60. Let's start with the science. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and a major meta-analysis published in the journal The Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology, vitamin D3 plays a critical role in calcium absorption, helping your body maintain strong, dense bones. Without it, calcium can't do its job, and your bones become fragile, porous, and prone to fractures. Think about this. Nearly 50% of adults over 65 in the US are deficient in vitamin D, especially during the fall and winter months when sunlight exposure drops. And that's dangerous because low vitamin D3 levels have been linked to osteoporosis, leg pain, hip fractures, and even weakened immune function. Now, how can you tell if you're low in vitamin D3? Common signs include persistent fatigue, bone pain or muscle weakness, mood changes, especially winter blues, increased risk of falls or fractures. And here's something most people don't realize. Even if you take calcium, without enough D3, your body can't absorb it properly. So you could be eating healthy and still losing bone strength silently. Let me ask you something. Have you had your vitamin D levels checked in the past year? Do you get at least 15 to 30 minutes of morning sunlight several times a week? Number 2 is vitamin B12. Let me be blunt. If you're over 60 and not paying attention to your vitamin B12 levels, you might already be losing nerve function without even realizing it. As a senior physician and someone who's lived through this myself, I can't stress this enough. Vitamin B12 is the nerve protector your legs are begging for. Let's dive into the data. According to a comprehensive review published in the New England Journal of Medicine, vitamin B12 is essential for maintaining the protective covering of nerves, called myelin. When you don't get enough, the nerves in your legs and feet start to misfire. This can lead to numbness, tingling, burning sensations, muscle weakness, and in severe cases, even difficulty walking. Now here's the kicker. As we age, our stomach produces less acid, which means we absorb B12 less effectively. The CDC estimates that up to 20% of adults over 60 have a B12 deficiency, and many more are borderline. I experienced this in my late 60s. I started having this odd sensation, like pins and needles running through the soles of my feet. At first, I brushed it off as poor circulation. But blood work told a different story. My B12 levels had dropped to borderline deficient. I immediately began supplementing with sublingual B12, and within a month, the sensations faded. No more buzzing feet, no more nighttime discomfort. So, how do you know if you're low in B12? Watch for tingling or numbness in your legs or feet, muscle weakness or leg fatigue, balance problems or frequent tripping, brain fog or unusual forgetfulness, pale or swollen tongue, and don't wait for the symptoms to get worse. Nerve damage from long-term B12 deficiency can become permanent. Now let's move on to number 3. Vitamin C. If you're over 60 and experiencing leg swelling, muscle cramps, or slow recovery after minor injuries, you might not be getting enough vitamin C. Most people know vitamin C for its immune-boosting power, but not many realize that it plays a vital role in keeping your legs strong and your circulation healthy. Let's break down the science. A landmark review published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted that vitamin C is essential for the production of collagen, the protein that holds our tendons, ligaments, and connective tissues together. Without enough collagen, these structures weaken. Blood vessels lose elasticity. You become more prone to leg fatigue, swelling, and even joint instability. Another study in the Journal of Vascular Surgery showed that vitamin C deficiency is linked to poor capillary integrity, leading to symptoms like leg edema, easy bruising, and muscle cramping. I can tell you from my own life, at age 70, I began noticing that my legs would swell slightly after a long day of standing at the clinic. It wasn't painful, but it felt tight by the evening. After testing my nutrient levels, we found my vitamin C intake was far below optimal. I started adding more bell peppers, kiwi, and broccoli into my meals, and included a daily 500 milligram supplement. Within weeks, the swelling went down, and my legs felt lighter and more energized. So how can you tell if you're running low on vitamin C? Look out for slow healing of bruises or small cuts, swelling or puffiness in the lower legs, frequent muscle cramps or soreness, gums that bleed when you brush, skin that bruises easily, and remember, our bodies don't store vitamin C, so we need to replenish it daily through food or supplements. Number 4 is vitamin E. If you're in your 60s or older and you feel like your legs just don't bounce back the way they used to, vitamin E might be the missing piece. This isn't just about energy. It's about protecting your muscles and keeping your blood flowing, especially to the lower extremities. Let's take a look at the science. A study published in the Journal of Physiology found that vitamin E helps reduce oxidative stress in skeletal muscle, especially after exercise or strain. Oxidative stress, if left unchecked, breaks down muscle fibers and slows recovery. This is one of the silent reasons why older adults often experience prolonged soreness or weakness in the legs. Another paper from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted how vitamin E enhances peripheral circulation by supporting the flexibility and strength of capillary walls. That means better blood flow to your legs and feet, which also helps deliver oxygen and nutrients needed for muscle repair. I experienced this personally around age 68. After a light hike with my grandson, I found myself unusually sore for days, something that wouldn't have happened 10 years earlier. My doctor ran a micronutrient panel, and surprise, my vitamin E was borderline low. I started supplementing with 200 IU daily, and added sunflower seeds, almonds, and spinach to my meals. Within weeks, my post-activity soreness dramatically decreased, and my legs recovered faster. Now, how do you know if your vitamin E might be low? Keep an eye out for slower recovery after mild physical activity, muscle cramps, especially in the calves, dry, thinning skin on your legs, cold feet or a tingling sensation in your toes, general fatigue, even after short walks. And don't forget, vitamin E isn't just about preventing wrinkles. It's about preserving muscle function and circulation where you need it most, your legs. So let me ask, are you eating enough vitamin E-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and leafy greens? Let's move on to number 5, vitamin K2. Most people think of calcium as the key to strong bones. But without vitamin K2, calcium can go to all the wrong places, including your arteries. Let's talk science. A groundbreaking study published in Thrombosis and Hemostasis found that vitamin K2 activates a protein called matrix glay protein, MGP, which prevents calcium from being deposited in arterial walls. Without enough K2, calcium can build up in your blood vessels instead of reaching your bones. Over time, this leads to arterial stiffness, poor circulation, and a higher risk of heart disease, especially in older adults. Another study from the Rotterdam Heart Study, which followed over 4,800 people for more than a decade, showed that those with the highest vitamin K2 intake had a 50% lower risk of arterial calcification and significantly fewer cardiovascular events. That's no coincidence. At age 71, I started experiencing occasional tightness in my calves when walking. Nothing extreme, but enough to make me pause. My blood pressure was normal, my cholesterol was under control. But after a vascular scan, early signs of arterial calcification showed up. My doctor recommended I increase my K2 intake. I added natto, hard cheeses, and a 100 microgram K2-MK7 supplement daily. 6 months later, the tightness disappeared, and follow-up scans showed no progression. So how do you know if you might be low on vitamin K2? Look for leg fatigue or tightness during short walks, bone density loss despite taking calcium, slow recovery from minor leg injuries, history of calcified arteries or valve issues, a diet low in fermented foods and full-fat dairy. Here's the thing. K2 doesn't just help bones. It keeps calcium out of places it doesn't belong. Think of it like traffic control, directing calcium into your hips and legs, not your heart and arteries. Number 6 is vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. If you're over 60 and your legs feel heavy or sore after a short walk, don't just blame aging. You might be low on vitamin B1. Also known as thiamine, vitamin B1 is essential for turning food into energy, especially in muscles and nerves. When you're deficient, your body struggles to fuel your legs, leading to fatigue, soreness, and even numbness after light activity. One study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults with low thiamine levels were more likely to experience leg weakness and poor physical performance. Another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reported that vitamin B1 deficiency is underdiagnosed in seniors, particularly those with chronic conditions or limited diets. How do you know if you might be low in vitamin B1? Here are some signs. Tired legs even after mild activity, foot tingling or occasional numbness, muscle cramps after standing, irritability or brain fog, reduced appetite or unintentional weight loss. Here's something important. Many older adults have absorption issues due to medications, alcohol use, or digestive changes. So even with a balanced diet, B1 levels may still be too low. So let me ask, do your legs tire easily, even after short errands? Have you felt pins and needles in your feet, even when sitting still? Seemingly small vitamin deficiencies, like D3, B1, B12, C, E, and K2, can silently weaken your legs, causing pain, numbness, and even fractures as you age. But the good news is, with the right nutrients, you can start improving your leg strength, circulation, and nerve health today. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. It motivates us to keep bringing you valuable health insights, and feel free to leave a comment about any leg issues you're facing. We may feature your question in the next video.